As Rick Perry talking to our political analyst Fred Dicker on the radio this morning. And Fred, there were many interesting things I found in this discussion that you had with him. One of them was that New York has the largest number of people leaving the state, and Texas has the largest number of people moving into the state. I thought that was a great selling point on his part, and he had his numbers down.
He seemed to, Liz. I mean, obviously, he's coming here to make a pitch. I thought it was pretty bold of Rick Perry to come on my show and really address the governor directly. As you know, he challenged Governor Cuomo to a debate. We're waiting to hear if the governor's going to take him up on that. Governor Cuomo, somehow I don't think he would, even though Rick Perry, when he last had a high-profile debate, I'm sure we both can recall, didn't do too well. But look, he's coming here. He's got a very good case to make. Texas is growing like Topsy. It's now the second largest state in the nation. New York used to be the largest state in the nation. Now we're number 4. They have a lower unemployment rate than we do, and I think the real explanation of why they're doing so well is that it's a business-friendly state. And if you listen to what Rick Perry says, it's not all that different from what Governor Cuomo's been saying. Cuomo's been saying we're not a business-friendly state. We're losing businesses. He wants to make it business-friendly. You may recall Governor Perry said that what the governor has done, he praises, but he called it small ball.
Well, how effective then, and I know you kind of asked him this, he didn't really, it seemed to me, didn't give a direct answer to it. How effective are these new New York commercials being in Texas?
Well, I try to draw him out on that. He didn't seem to have any quantifiable data on it. It may be that if they are being somewhat effective, he doesn't want to tell us that. On the other hand, if they were being somewhat effective, I think Governor Cuomo would be telling us that, and he hasn't told us that either. Tomorrow, just coincidentally, the governor in Albany has I guess he's calling it the spring conference of his so-called Startup New York campaign, and I dare say a lot of people are going to be pressing him at that event tomorrow on some results from this campaign, as well as to respond to Governor Perry and his statements.
Hey, just out of curiosity, Fred, has there ever been a New York governor who's tried the same tack, say, going to another state and trying to poach business there? And might that not be a way of sort of answering Rick Perry, to go there and try the same thing?
Liz, this has been tried repeatedly, whether you go back, way back to Governor Hugh Carey, you may recall going to Japan to try to attract Japanese businessmen. George Pataki spent about $150 million of public monies on commercials claiming that New York was a business-friendly state. Those commercials just happen to feature him as well. There's no evidence these kinds of commercials make a difference. Business people make very serious decisions based on what's in their own or their company's interests. Unless objectively they know there's a better business climate in a particular place, they're not going to go there because a TV ad says you can get, say, tax waivers if you locate at a SUNY campus.
And Texas is famous for incentives, too. I mean, that would probably be the best way to bring people in.
Well, you know, and look, remember, and give them credit for it, under George Pataki, New York attracted Semitech from Austin, Texas, the big semiconductor producer research facility that's now located out at the Nano College. So we have been successful here in New York. We do give big incentives. Look at Global Foundries and how many, it was about $1.5 billion to get them to Malta. But you just can't do that all the time. The trouble in New York is we have little to show for an improved business climate except when the state bribes these companies, and that's what this money is in a way, to come in. Without it, they won't come here because this is such a business-unfriendly state.
All right, Fred, thank you very much. Fred's on the radio, as we just heard, and live from the state capitol every weekday morning, 10 to 11 on Talk 1300 AM.